She was just a baby when Angelina Jolie adopted her. Now, 18 years later, you won't believe who she has transformed into. From orphanages to red carpets, this young girl's metamorphosis is simply breathtaking. Raised in the spotlight by one of Hollywood's most iconic stars, her journey has taken unexpected turns, and fans are shocked by her latest revelation. So, where is she now? And what does she really look like behind the cameras? Saved by Ali's music. She was only 7 months old. Her tiny body, weakened by hunger, was fighting to survive in an overcrowded orphanage in Ethiopia. In one of the world's poorest countries, with over 4 million orphans today, Zahara was just one of many children abandoned to their fate. Many, like her, sleep on the streets, deprived of food, clean water, and education. For most, survival is the only dream, and even that often eludes them. Those who survive grow up cutting sugarcane or doing exhausting labor, earning just enough to barely feed themselves. The future is a harsh, narrow road with almost no promises. At the time, Hollywood star Angelina Jolie was dating Brad Pitt, though they had no biological children yet. Jolie was already a mother to Maddox, a 3-year-old boy adopted from Cambodia, and was widely known for her humanitarian work. She traveled to regions ravaged by war and poverty, advocating for children's rights and providing on-the-ground aid. During one of these missions in Ethiopia, Jolie visited an orphanage, and that's where she met Zahara. The little girl was severely malnourished. Jolie couldn't look away. Zahara's big expressive eyes and fragile state cut through the noise of the world around her. The moment was instant, emotional, human, and inevitable. Jolie knew she had to act. She began the adoption process for the 6-month-old child, unaware that the story behind Zahara's abandonment was just as devastating. At that point, everyone believed Zahara was a complete orphan. Reports said her mother had died shortly after giving birth. Some sources mentioned postpartum hemorrhage, others alleged AIDS. The father was unknown. The only living relative was her maternal grandmother, Alma Bluen, a 45-year-old woman raising 3 daughters in the scorching town of Assa. The home was a crumbling one-room shack with no electricity, no phone, not even a decent roof. The walls were cracked. Outside, a single stove was used for cooking. There was no comfort, only survival. Alma raised Zahara for the first 4 months of her life, but living on just a few dollars a month, she realized she couldn't keep the baby alive. Desperate and with no alternatives, she made the painful decision to leave her at the orphanage, hoping Zahara would at least have food and shelter. When Alma learned that a famous American actress would adopt Zahara, she didn't oppose it, she felt relief. She believed it was the best chance for her granddaughter. In some parts of the world, the most loving act a parent or grandparent can do is let go. Zahara was one of the lucky ones. If she had stayed in Ethiopia, she probably would never have gone to school, learned to read or write. She would have grown up in a shack, working low-paying jobs for $1 a day. From scandal to strength. Zahara's fate didn't just change, it was completely rewritten. After the adoption, she was taken to the United States by none other than Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Suddenly, this fragile Ethiopian baby was waking up in a luxurious mansion, surrounded by art, books, and a family that truly loved her. But while headlines painted a fairy tale, Zahara's reality was far more complex. Brad Pitt became her legal adoptive father, and with that, she took the name Zahara Jolie-Pitt. Her new parents loved her sincerely and deeply, but love couldn't shield her from the dark side of fame. From day one, the paparazzi were relentless, camping outside the gates, chasing Jolie and the little girl with lenses bigger than movie scripts. And then came the ugliest twist, a fabricated story claiming the Jolie-Pitt family planned to return Zahara to Ethiopia. Tabloids fed on the poverty of her biological family, twisting the narrative into something cruel and false. Journalists uncovered a truth no one expected. Zahara's biological mother was alive. Her name, Mentwab Dawit. In a rare and painful interview, Mentwab revealed the truth behind Zahara's birth. She had become pregnant after being assaulted by a man she couldn't fight off. She didn't even know the father's identity. In her culture, speaking about such trauma is taboo. Women are often blamed while the perpetrators disappear without punishment. She gave birth to Zahara at home but quickly realized she couldn't raise her daughter. She entrusted the baby to her own mother, Zahara's grandmother, in the hope that she would survive. Meanwhile, Zahara was thriving in a lively and highly publicized family. Jolie adopted more children and had 3 biological ones, giving Zahara 5 siblings and a global home full of energy. But in 2017, when Zahara was 12, her biological mother reappeared publicly once again, this time with a request, "Please, just let me talk to my daughter." Family dynamics shifted over the years, but one thing never changed: Angelina Jolie's commitment to keeping Zahara connected to her roots. Zahara's roots revisited. In 2009, Angelina Jolie boarded a flight with her 4-year-old daughter, Zahara Jolie-Pitt, headed not to a film set or red carpet, but back to Ethiopia. It was the first time Zahara had returned since her adoption. And for Jolie, it wasn't just a sentimental trip, it was personal and intentional. According to a close family friend who spoke to People magazine, the trip had a powerful dual mission: to help Zahara maintain her connection to her Ethiopian roots and to scout a location for a medical clinic in Zahara's name, dedicated to fighting AIDS and tuberculosis. It wasn't performative charity, it was an investment in legacy, a way to ensure Zahara's story meant something not just for her, but for others like her. Jolie has always prioritized keeping Zahara connected to her heritage, and this effort extends to every child in the Jolie-Pitt clan. As revealed in a 2015 Vogue profile, Angelina regularly takes the family on trips across Europe, Asia, and Africa, ensuring each child has the chance to learn not only about their own cultural origins but also those of their siblings. With 2 of her half-siblings from Southeast Asia, these trips turned into living, profound classrooms rich with real textures. In 2021 at a Time 100 conference, Angelina spoke publicly about her daughter, not just as family, but as something even more powerful. She described Zahara as an extraordinary African woman, acknowledging the deep and personal bond Zahara has with her homeland. It's a connection that, according to Angelina, she can only admire from afar because it doesn't belong to her. It belongs to Zahara. Before she could even walk steadily, Zahara Jolie-Pitt was already traveling the world. Her early years weren't spent in a quiet nursery. From a young age, her life unfolded between international flights, cameras, and embassy hallways. While other children learned to speak in preschool, Zahara learned to greet in multiple languages. She grew up surrounded by influential figures: politicians, artists, human rights advocates. Every day was a lesson in culture, resilience, and visibility. It wasn't an ordinary childhood, but it wasn't empty either. Zahara was raised with global awareness, in an environment where compassion weighed as much as fame. Angelina Jolie, known for her long-term vision, didn't just give her daughter a better life but also the tools to understand the world in all its complexity. As Zahara grew, she stood out not only for her Ethiopian beauty but for her intelligence and serene elegance. Even as a teenager, she impressed with her maturity. Observant, empathetic, and always attuned to the social context around her, Zahara wasn't just the daughter of. She was becoming her own voice, a young woman with a story, roots, and a future she was starting to build herself. It was a whirlwind of continents, cameras, and cultures. While most children her age were discovering sippy cups, Zahara was exploring Paris, Tokyo, and Mumbai alongside 2 of the world's most famous people. At just 10 months old, in November 2005, Zahara took her first international flight to Tokyo. Arriving in Brad Pitt's arms, with Angelina Jolie right behind holding her brother Maddox, the little girl made her debut on foreign soil during the promotional tour for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That image of Brad holding her tenderly was more than a publicity moment. It was the start of Zahara's global journey. From Japan, the family flew to France, where they were seen enjoying the quiet parks of Paris, savoring brief moments of family life amid the chaos of fame. The following year, Zahara was in India, sitting on her father's lap during a serene boat ride. An experience that left more than just vacation photos. For a child born in adversity, this new world of safety and sensory richness seemed like a dream. In 2011, Zahara was 6 years old and already showing elegance far beyond her years. Slim and graceful, She reached her mother's waist and was often seen walking hand in hand with Angelina during discreet mother-daughter outings. Though she was nearly a year and a half older than her sister Shiloh, Zahara seemed a bit smaller but no less striking. In September of that year, Angelina took her two eldest daughters for a special outing in London, to get their ears pierced. It was meant to be a sweet bonding moment. Zahara, always brave, volunteered to go first and chose a pair of elegant gold earrings. But as soon as the piercing gun touched her ear, her composure crumbled. The sudden pain made her cry, surprising everyone. Shiloh, seeing her sister in pain, immediately backed out. A small moment, but full of meaning. Two girls united by sisterhood and empathy, learning together that even the most beautiful things can come with a touch of pain. The shared passion for sports brought new energy to the Jolie-Pitt household. An energy based on joy, teamwork, and classic sibling rivalry. By 2015, it was no longer just a hobby. It was a family event. Zahara and Shiloh were often seen chasing the ball on local fields, while Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt cheered from the sidelines. One particularly touching moment came in May of that year, when cameras captured Brad stealing a tender kiss from Angelina as they watched their daughters play. Two movie stars who, for a moment, were just mom and dad. For Jolie, these soccer games weren't just healthy afternoons, they were vital respite. In March 2015, she revealed to the New York Times her decision to undergo genetic testing for cancer and, subsequently, to have her ovaries removed preventively. It was a difficult and emotional chapter, but watching her children run on the fields gave her moments of normalcy and peace in uncertain times. As Zahara conquered her place on the field, she also began venturing into the world of film. In 2016, she voiced the character of Meng, one of the chaotic panda pups in Kung Fu Panda 3. Before that, she had made small uncredited appearances, including a cameo in Maleficent, 2014, with her mother, and an appearance as herself in Which One All Access, in 2006. Though her on-screen presence was subtle, many fans still wonder, will Zahara follow in her Oscar-winning parents' footsteps? In 2019, Zahara made a dazzling entrance into another kind of spotlight, fashion and philanthropy. She partnered with renowned jeweler Robert Prokop and launched the Zahara Collection, a line of fine jewelry that debuted in select Saks Fifth Avenue stores in the US and Australia. Her designs were bold, elegant, and deeply personal. She launched the collection Unforgettable, walking the red carpet at the premiere of Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, wearing her own creations. Zahara enchanted with 3 stone drop earrings, an elegant 18-karat gold ring, and a delicate bracelet, all from her line. But it wasn't just about sparkle, it was about purpose. In true Jolie spirit, Zahara ensured the collection's profits supported social causes, uniting beauty and intention. They share a language that belongs only to them, sometimes through fashion, sometimes through play, but always through loyalty. Shiloh often seeks Zahara for style advice, and the two are frequently photographed side by side, exchanging smiles or whispers that suggest a bond that goes beyond the cameras. Whether on a quick shopping trip or simply standing together at an event, they move like natural allies, supportive and in sync. This bond was never more evident than in 2020, when both underwent surgeries. During their respective recovery periods, they took turns caring for each other, without press, without headlines, just pure sisterly love. It's the kind of bond that survives the glare of the spotlight and legal turbulence. It's the kind of bond that endures. In 2021, Zahara Jolie-Pitt was no stranger to red carpets, but this time she made it personal. At the premiere of Eternals, Zahara surprised the world by wearing a historic piece of family fashion, the silver Elie Saab couture gown her mother had worn to the 2014 Oscars. Worn by Angelina Jolie at the height of her Hollywood reign, the dress was reborn on Zahara, graceful, radiant, and completely in command of herself. It was more than a vintage moment. It was a statement, a perfect fusion of legacy and individuality. Zahara's appearance drew attention not just for the glamour but for the quiet strength behind it. She wasn't just borrowing a dress, she was reinterpreting it. Her elegance and fashion intuition reignited rumors. Would Zahara enter the fashion world professionally? Her serene presence, combined with her known passion for style, had already made her a favorite among experts. And with rumors that she was studying French during the pandemic, the fashion world's favorite language, the speculation only grew. In July 2022, Zahara made her biggest debut, not on a red carpet, but on a college campus. Angelina Jolie announced that her daughter was joining Spelman College, the prestigious historically black women's university in Atlanta. She shared a photo of Zahara, surrounded by other first-year students, proudly calling them her Spelman sisters. The pride was palpable and shared by both parents. At the premiere of Bullet Train, Brad Pitt was visibly emotional, commenting on his daughter's achievement. "So beautiful," he said softly, overcome with emotion. On move-in day, Angelina accompanied Zahara to campus, where they were welcomed with warmth and celebration. The university president, Dr. Helene Gale, and the vice president for student affairs personally greeted them, treating the moment not as a celebrity arrival but as a family joining a community. A short video of the visit showed Jolie beaming with pride when asked how she felt as a Spelman mom. She tried to hold back tears. "I'm going to start crying," she confessed, her voice trembling with joy. In December 2022, Zahara Jolie-Pitt accompanied her mother, Angelina Jolie, on a powerful 2-day trip to Washington, D.C., not as a celebrity daughter, but as a young advocate with a mission. The mother-daughter duo arrived in the capital to champion victims' rights, lending their voices in support of the Justice for All Reauthorization Act of 2022. The bill aimed to ensure victims had access to critical resources, like official reports and evidence of abuse, tools often lost in the bureaucracy of the system. Together, Zahara and Angelina met with lawmakers, members of Congress, and White House representatives, drawing attention to gaps in the justice system and demanding real reforms. Zahara, still a college student, stood by her mother with the quiet conviction of someone who wasn't there to be seen but to be heard. But it wasn't Zahara's first time advocating in Washington. The previous year, she had already climbed the same Capitol steps in support of the Violence Against Women Act. During these meetings, Zahara and Angelina engaged with politicians and grassroots activists, amplifying the urgency of comprehensive protections for survivors of violence. They spoke not just as public figures but as women, daughters, mothers, allies. After the 2022 trip, Angelina posted photos on social media of the two in meetings and amid the mission. The caption, written with pride and urgency, highlighted their ongoing commitment to strengthening protections for victims, including children, Black communities, indigenous peoples, LGBTQ+ individuals, and rural populations often overlooked by traditional policies. Zahara's passion for advocacy isn't borrowed, it's inherited, nurtured, and now directed by her own hand. Her presence in Washington marked a turning point, from supporting her mother's mission to building her own.